welcome back. Hope you're having a good day. So you're staring at my bread machine and a bunch of, sugar, eggs, yeast, flour, water, etc. So we're going to make dinner rolls, and I've made these many times before into actual little dinner roll sizes. I'll insert the picture so you can see what they look like. But I want to try and make them into like a hamburger bun size or a Kaiser roll size. Something that's going to fit a hamburger bun, but that's going to be nice and round. And my bread machine is the Hamilton Beach Artisan bread maker, and it works amazing. I've had it for I think over a year at least, if not going on a year and a half. I don't remember, something like that. But the recipe is actually in the book. It's the dough cycle recipe for dinner rolls, and it calls for milk, but I've never made it with milk. I just do it with water. So let's get into the video, and I'm going to show you how we make them. Okay guys, let's start the recipe. You're staring at the inside of my bread machine. So first it calls for 1 cup of milk, but I don't use milk, I use water, and the water is slightly warm. And I've also put an additional 2 tablespoons of water in it, because I find with our flour, it's just drier. There is actually a difference between Canadian flour and American flour. So I'm using just a regular all-purpose white flour. It calls for 1/4 cup of butter at room temperature. So again, I'm using the vegan one I use all the time, made of plant-based oils. So I'll just scrape most of it off and get it in there. Throw everything in the sink. After that, it calls for 1 egg slightly beaten. So I crack the egg. Throw your eggshells in your home compost if you have one. If not, then see if your town offers you a industrial compost. So I'm just gonna break it up a little bit. There you go. Can you see that egg? There, it's just broken a little bit. Nothing fancy. Then it calls for 1/4 cup of sugar. Now with bread machines, you need to follow the recipe in the order it's written. The next thing they call for is 1 teaspoon of salt. This is a really good recipe. The dinner rolls taste so well, so good, it's not even funny. Now it also calls for 4 cups of all-purpose flour. So we're going to throw in some flour, 4 cups of it. Make sure it's level. So that's 1. And I make these all the time. I don't buy dinner rolls or bread anymore at the grocery stores or bakery. I've been making my own bread for, well, ever since I got the machine. And I used to do it by hand years ago, but I find I just don't have the wrists for it to knead the dough. It just kills my wrists. I don't know. I'm old now, guys. We're getting old. So there's 4 cups, and I kind of just push it to the edges a little. So that's done. And the last thing you need is 2 teaspoons of bread machine yeast. Right now, I buy this one. It's in a glass jar. So it's Fleischmann's bread machine yeast. But I'll tell you what, you do not need to use bread machine yeast. You don't. One time, Bulk Barn used to sell yeast in bulk, and I can go in there with my own container and buy it. And it was a lot bigger and like round little balls, whereas this is extremely fine. This one is like very fine, like sand almost. But it does the same thing. There's no difference. It works fine. Actually, when I used to buy it at Bulk Barn, it came out a lot cheaper. But Bulk Barn doesn't carry it in bulk anymore, at least not at my local store. So that's all the ingredients in it. We're going to close the top, and I'm going to show you the settings you need to set the machine. Okay, so the recipe tells you to set the machine on the dough cycle. So dough cycle is number 9. Right now this number says 1. So you just need to press menu. So now it's at 9, and it's going to take at least an hour and a half. And after that, the only thing you have to do is press start. Now the machine is starting to mix the ingredient. If you want to peek in, we can look in the inside and see what it's doing. And it's mixing around. So let's wait and see what happens and how it mixes. Okay, it's been mixing for a little bit. Let's check it again. See, it's getting better. Now, you can just touch it, and I can feel that that's a little bit too hard. So I'm going to add a tablespoon more water. Okay guys, the machine beeped, so it's ready. Look at that nice dough, it's all mushy. Let's take it out, turn your bucket, and lift straight up. Okay, so that's done. Press the stop button. You hear it beep, and then unplug it. There you go. Push that back. Now, here's a tip for you. Save some money on your electric bill. Don't leave appliances plugged in, because they still take energy even if they're not on. So here's some flour. We'll throw it down there. Let me move this over. Okay, spread out that flour. Get our dough and pour it out. Let's see what we got here. Nice, 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 nice. Scoop off the rest of the dough from the paddle. Stick it underneath. Okay, so what you want to do is, you don't want to kill it, okay? You don't want to mush it or kill it or whatever. Just gonna shape it like that. So we got our dough out, it's ready. Normally if you're making 16 dinner rolls, you would cut it into 16 pieces. And at the same time, I took my casserole dish and I just buttered the inside of the dish. That's the big standard size casserole dish, and then I have a smaller one. Because this time, like I said, I want to try and make it into hamburger bun size. So I'm just taking my spatula, because I don't have a dough cutter, and I'm going to cut it in half. Like so. Okay. It's a very beautiful dough. I love it. Okay, and then I'm going to cut these into what I think is going to be the right size. We'll see when we start playing with them. Sorry, I hit you again. Oh, you hear that squeak? Squeak the bubble. Okay, let's just see for fun. We take it, and all you're doing is everything you touch, you're rolling it to the bottom. So I'm rolling this to the bottom, rolling this to the bottom, and I'm just turning the whole thing and rolling everything, see? Rolling everything underneath, okay, until it forms like a little roundish blob, I guess. And then when you sit it on the pan, see that's the bottom, you're sitting it like that. Okay, so we'll do one like that. I'm gonna have to play with my sizes because I'm going for a hamburger size bun here instead of a small dinner roll. And I might make some dinner rolls as well, we'll see. And you just keep doing this. There's another one. Okay. Take this one. It's got a big air bubble. And you can hear the little air bubbles pop. And you just keep rolling it in. I wonder if I could show you the other way, like this. See? You just keep rolling it into itself. And you become a nice smooth top. Alright, so what I'm doing is I put 4 on the pan like that because they're going to puff up a little. And I want to see what they look like, how they puff. So I think we'll do 4 like that. And then maybe we'll make some little dinner rolls as well. We'll see what we can do here. So let's cut up some more. Now, of course, if you're doing dinner rolls all at the same time, excuse me, yeah, like doing 16 of them, you want to cut your dough relatively the same size. Now, if you want to get technical here and fancy schmancy, you can get out the scale and you could weigh each dough to make it exact, but really, you know, it's not that necessary. Okay, what you're going to do now is, now that you've shaped them and put them in their pans, I take a dish towel and I put it over it, not the towel side, but the other side, the smooth side. And I'm going to put the same thing over this one here, and we are going to let it rise for 45 minutes. Okay guys, we're back. It's been 45 minutes that they've been rising. So they're ready to go in the oven. And they go in the oven at 375 for 15 to 20 minutes. I like to do 20 minutes. Gets them a little bit browner. See, this is a good size for what I'm trying to do. Hamburger buns. And these are like bigger dinner rolls. So we'll stick them in the oven for about 20 minutes at 375. And then I'll show you what they look like when they come out of the oven. Okay guys, they're ready. It's been 20 minutes. The oven beeped. I'm taking them out. Here is supposed to be the hamburger bun size. Now this is kind of puffy for hamburger buns, but the right circle shape, except for the big one in the corner that's messed up. Stick it there. And the bread rolls some are a little bigger, look like that. So there you go. Those are done. That's not bad. You can make a nice sandwich out of that. Or, oh, you know what you could do? Actually, you can cut a hole in it. And you can make it a soup bowl. And then you can eat the bowl. Remember when Tim Hortons was doing that? So there you go. Dinner rolls, bread rolls, hamburger buns, whatever you want to eat them for. Made with bread machine dough. Really amazing, good recipe, and they taste really good. So I'm going to leave them alone for a few minutes, and then I'm going to move them to a wire rack so they don't sweat and get soggy in the casserole dishes. So keep cooking, keep trying new things, and I'll see you next time.